It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker, owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Through the month of August, we are doing a back-to-school month. Every time someone moves into the schools or into the town, they ask us, well, what schools should I buy in? So we thought, what better way to get those answers than to actually talk to the people that know. So today I am here with Scott McWilliams, and he's with Washburn Rural School District. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Great. We're going to start out with what would you say your school has to offer a student?
You bet. Yeah, a couple things. I'm relatively new to town. I'm in my second year in Shawnee County in our Auburn Washburn USD 437 school district. First thing that I want to mention is you really can't go wrong in this area. I have been so impressed with Shawnee County just in general. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to play. And most importantly for us in education, it's a family-centered environment. So specifically about Auburn Washburn, some things that I quickly learned when I joined the team last year and that I'm looking forward to this upcoming 16-17 school year. First and foremost, we're all about students. We are so fortunate to have such amazing students that attend the Auburn Washburn School District, but our main focus every day is doing everything we possibly can to meet the academic, the social, the emotional needs of each of our students. In our school district this upcoming year, we'll have over 6,300 students. We don't look at them as a whole, but we look at them as individual students, and what can we do to make the most positive impact on their growth, on their development, so they can be confident and they can be successful once they leave us beyond those high school years. We're very proud of offering a guaranteed and viable curriculum. We want to challenge each of our students academically and work hard to ensure that we can excel areas of strength for them in the classroom. We have a wide venue that we can offer students to engage their interests. We have amazing performing arts programs with bands and with strings and with theater, with arts. We have a very competitive athletics program, if that's something that students are interested in. And then we also have specialized programs in each of our buildings as well to best tailor fit what a student would like to do at school to best meet his interests or her interests. Last couple of things I would mention is we have a really strong staff. We have classified staff and our teachers and administrative staff that just really have hearts of gold that can do everything they can to best meet the needs of kids. And I have found in Southwest Topeka, we have just a very engaged and caring parent community. Our parents are very involved and appreciate and understand the value and the importance of receiving a quality education. And so we've got a lot of positive things going on in our district right now. It's a fun place to be.
That sounds amazing. Okay, so what are ways that parents and community can get involved in the school?
You bet. Well, a couple of things. Obviously, I think it's a little bit easier if you actually have students attending schools because it's a little easier to stay in tune and engaged on what's happening in schools. But the one thing that I tell all patrons, even if they don't have students currently enrolled, is pay attention and stay tuned to the many, many activities that we have taking place in each of our schools. And if they would like to take a part of it, even if they don't have a student attending, we take all volunteers for a wide variety of things if they'd like to be actively engaged. Something that we take great pride in our school district is we want to be great partners in our community as well. And so if somebody in our community needs assistance with something, we have students that are committed to volunteering in our community, to giving community service hours. We want to be able to give back to our community because so many members of our community give to us as a school district. We are so fortunate to have such an involved parent community. That's wonderful for our students. But there are always students that can benefit from having a little extra time on task with adults. So if there is ever anybody in our community that would be willing to serve as a mentor or be able to give a little bit more time to a student that might be able to benefit from a little extra adult time, we certainly have avenues in place for that, and we'd be happy to facilitate those kinds of arrangements as well.
So let's talk about important fundraisers for the school.
Probably, as far as the big picture goes, the easiest way, the most convenient way, if you really wanted to be involved with fundraising or giving, financially to the school district, we are blessed to have the Auburn Washburn Foundation. And so that is a public identity to which anybody actually in the country can go online, and they can give any kind of donation to the Auburn Washburn Foundation. Of course, it's helps with the tax relief as well when you do this, because they're their own organization. And what the Auburn Washburn Foundation does with those grants, with the dollars that they receive, is they then fund grants that teachers submit to the foundation. In addition to that, each of our schools will work with students and do their own fundraising activities. Many times that will go through a parent-teacher organization. The reality is each of our buildings have unique needs that sometimes our general budget can't take care of in and of itself. So there are times that our parents will rally the troops within that local school community and maybe do some kind of a sale to bring new monies in. And then those can be used to buy. Examples would be technology in a classroom, maybe smart boards for students to use, and other instructional materials so we can best meet those individual needs of students in our classrooms.
What are the dropout rates for your school district?
You bet. Yeah, on average, our graduation rate is ranging between 90 and 95%, depending on the year.
And how many graduates go on to college?
Yeah, we asked that question of each of our high school graduates, and the trend data states that just over 90% of our students will report to us that they are going to attend some form of post-secondary opportunity.
Good deal. And how many merit scholars are typically in your graduating class?
You bet. Yeah, we have just this last graduating year, we had 5 merit scholars. And as I look back at previous years, we usually range between about 3 to 6 on an annual basis.
Are all students taught good grammar?
I kind of laughed a little when I saw this question earlier.
I think we all did.
Yes. English language arts is certainly an important part of our curriculum. And, the reality is that things have changed a little bit over the years. The students do a lot of communication through social media at this time. And I agree that when I see young people communicating, sometimes it's not in full sentences and they're using some abbreviations when they're using their thumbs sometimes to communicate. But as a part of our curriculum, yes, we absolutely are teaching grammar in our classes, K through 12.
And what are your current test scores?
The last time the Kansas State Department of Education worked with the proficiency level, we're going through a different state assessment at this time. But in Auburn Washburn, 95% of our students were proficient or higher on the mathematics state exam as well as the reading state exam. We're going through a new trial period right now that we're getting new benchmark scores with the new state exam, but it's a little too early or premature to know exactly how that's going to shake out. Then as far as the national exam, at least in the Midwest, it seems like the ACT score is kind of the benchmark or the standard that we use. And in our school district, our 5-year trend data on ACT is a composite score of 23, and that is 2 points above the national average of 21.
Okay, so the next one. What are your bullying policies?
You bet. Yeah, obviously, we believe strongly that all students, all employees, all of our patrons should have a school community that everybody feels free and welcome and comfortable to attend. We want to provide learning environments that produce relationships, positive, meaningful relationships. We want our students to feel great while they're in their classrooms. And the strong majority of our students are coming to school doing just those things. In the event that any conflict occurs, of course, we will take action and ensure that we have a safe learning environment for all involved.
What are your percentage of free and reduced lunches?
As we move into this 2016-17 school year, about 33% of our students will qualify for a free or reduced price lunch.
Next question up is AP classes offered.
Yeah, that's one of the strengths in our school district. I think we do a great job to differentiate schedules and offerings for students to best meet needs. We have a wide offering of AP courses for those students wanting to take advanced placement. We have honors courses for students as they're entering the high school. And then we also have specialized programs to best meet learning needs as well. I'm convinced that if you are a student, that regardless of what your interests are, you're going to find a link in our middle school and our high schools to find classes that are going to best meet your interests as well as your level of achievement at the time that you're entering our schools.
And what is your student-teacher ratio?
At the elementary level, we have guidelines for each of our classes, our class sizes. And so at the kindergarten level, it's a maximum of 20 per class. That increases up to about 24 per class by the time they leave us in sixth grade. And then on average at the middle school and high school, generally speaking, our class average is in the low to mid-20s. It's possible that you're going to have some classes larger than that. When you put together a master schedule at the secondary buildings, it's difficult to have every class exactly balanced. But also, we would not have classes or very many classes, at least in the high 20s. We do a pretty nice job of getting them balanced the best we can.
And the size of your school compared to the student load?
Yeah, at our elementary level, we have 7 elementary schools. And as far as student enrollment, we range on the low end of about 375 students in our smallest school to about 550 students in our largest school. Our middle school, we have one middle school in the district. It is the second largest middle school in the state of Kansas, and we're going to have about 1,000 7th and 8th graders at Washburn Rural Middle School this upcoming 16-17 school year. And at our high school, we have about 1,800 students enrolled for the 16-17 school year. We're a large school district. We are a 6A school district, so in the state of Kansas, that's the largest class. And we are the 16th largest school district in the state of Kansas.
So let's talk about school security.
Yeah, you know what? In the society in which we live today, security is always going to be a priority. We have a committee that meets a couple times each month, taking a look at each of our buildings and ensuring that we have a safe and a productive environment, not only for our staff, but especially for our students and the parents that are having students coming to us each day. And so we have a head of security, or a chief of school police, and he helps lead our efforts, but we do it by a committee. And so we definitely have staff that is ensuring the safety in each of our buildings 24/7.
Dress code. Particularly they hit 9th grade, but in general, what kind of dress code do you guys have?
Yeah, the simple answer to that is, the reason that we exist, the reason that we're there every day with our doors open, is to teach kids, to give them the skills they need to be successful for what they are going to pursue later in life beyond the years of high school. So with that in mind, obviously we do not want any distractions in the learning environment, and sometimes dress code could create distractions. We want students to be individuals. We want them to be who they are and dress who they are. And as long as that does not create distractions in our learning environment, then we're pretty comfortable with that. In each of our buildings, we do have a specific dress code, and each building can tailor fit that just a little bit to best meet the interest and the needs of their school. But we do have dress codes at the elementary, the middle, and the high. But I think it's important to stress that also we do want our students to feel comfortable with who they are. And as long as they meet the requirements of our dress code, we really don't have a whole lot of issue with that in any of our buildings.
And anything else that you would want the community to know about your school?
Just maybe preface what I said at the very beginning. Regardless of the school district, I have an opportunity to visit with members of each of the surrounding school districts. And I've just been so impressed with each of them. All of them are very professional. Each of us are doing everything we can to best meet the needs of students in our school district. And I just think Shawnee County, the Topeka area, is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. So as folks are, shopping for homes or maybe relocating to the Topeka area, I can speak firsthand by living here and raising 3 girls, my wife and I as a family. It's a great place to be, and it's a great school system, and it's just a really good place for young people to learn, to work, and grow. And there are a lot of positives in living in this part of the state.
And if someone wanted to volunteer or help out with the school, what number should they call?
It'd probably be easiest just to call the direct office and have them express their interest, and that would be at 785-339-4000. And that would be the receptionist's phone, and then she could direct that individual to the appropriate person.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Scott.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity. I enjoyed our time together.
We have with us today James Sandstrom with Hayden High School. What would you say your school has to offer?
We pride ourselves in educating the entire person. This is the only school in the area in which they will be educated body, mind, and soul. We are a college prep school, so we prepare kids for college, and we have an emphasis on ACT score.
What are great ways for the parents and the community to get involved in the school?
We pride ourselves as being a faith-based community here, and I grew up in a small town. When I came and interviewed at Hayden many, many years ago, I took the job, and instantly, even though Topeka is a larger town than I grew up in, it immediately had that small community feel. The community here at Hayden it's unbelievable. Everybody knows everybody. It really feels like a small community in a big town of Topeka. We do have a PACE organization, which is Parents and Alumni for Catholic Education, and it is a volunteer program in which our parents are asked to volunteer so many hours of their time to help out our school. And in participating in this program, it allows parents to meet other parents that are in similar situations, and it starts building those relationships, which really helps our community.
What would you say is your most important fundraiser that you do?
Bingo is definitely part of our fundraising model here. As I mentioned, the PACE organization does a lot of fundraising. We have a golf tournament that comes up in October. It's on October 1st at 9 o'clock that we can come out and have a fun time and golf in the golf tournament. We also have a big auction that takes place in our gymnasium on April 1st.
What are the dropout rates of the school?
Dropout rates has a broad definition. So, and some of this, I am new to the position. Our leadership just changed this year. We have a new president, Matthew Shambari, that comes to us from the West Coast, and this is my first year as principal, so some of these questions I won't have a complete answer for, but I have been around the school for a long time. I've been in the school for 18 years. The last 2 years I was the dean of students. But our dropout rates, I can tell you that 100% of our seniors graduated in last year's class.
How many graduates go on to college?
We have over 90% of our graduates that go on to college, and they go to colleges ranging from BYU to the Air Force to we have an individual going to a cosmetology school, and obviously our students are very supportive of the local universities, and we have a number going to KU, K-State, and Washburn.
Are all students taught good grammar?
Absolutely. I enjoy this question. Our English department, the ACT measures the percent of students who meet the college readiness benchmark, and they have a certain benchmark for individual subjects, and the benchmark that I think closely relates to this question would be the English benchmark, and we have 87% of our students meet the college readiness benchmark as opposed to the state average, which is at 71%.
Wow, that's impressive. Current test scores, do you have that by chance?
Yeah, I do, and I have a 5-year trend, and in 2015, the 2016 numbers aren't finalized yet, but in 2015, our composite ACT score was a 23.8, and the state's average at that point in time, 19.6. We place a high emphasis on ACT scores. We bring in outside professionals to help our students prepare for the ACT. We use a quality core curriculum, which takes the Common Core and raises it up a level. We use that in all of our classrooms. and it's also part of our 5-year accreditation through Advanced Ed. One of our points of emphasis was to improve our ACT score. So we put a high emphasis on test scores.
What are your bullying policies?
Our bullying policy has been in place for it's been in place for more than 15 years. I can't remember exactly when it was put in. As Dean of Students for the last 2 years, I've had to deal with this directly, and I can tell you that we haven't had a fight break out here in the last 15 years.
That in itself is amazing. And what AP classes do you guys offer?
This is an area where myself and our new president are looking to increase the number of AP classes that we offer. We offer 2 AP classes, AP Calculus and AP U.S. History. We currently offer a number of college courses. We offer college algebra, college calculus, college Chem 1 and Chem 2, and then college biology. We also partner with Highland Community College and Washburn Tech on a CNA program, and we also partner with Washburn Tech on a Vote Tech program, where our kids come to school for a half day, and then they go over to Washburn Tech and learn a technical skill.
Student-teacher ratio.
Our student-teacher ratio in 2016, the 15-16 school year, was 13-1.
School security. Do you have a policy or a plan in place?
We have security cameras around the building. And as I mentioned, as Dean of Students, I was in charge of discipline and needed access to the cameras sometimes to get to the bottom of certain cases. I can tell you one of the funny stories that I enjoyed telling our new Dean of Students. We have a number of cameras around the building, and for my first year, I was using them very sparingly. So sparingly as a matter of fact, I didn't know of a different location that we had different cameras on because I had never needed to use them, but I found that out in my second year. Our SRO, who we have on staff 4 out of the 5 days, he informed me that we have a location with more cameras that I didn't even need access to our first year. So we do have an SRO on site 4 out of the 5 days, and we have security cameras. We also have, and I don't know if this would classify as a school security issue, but we have a drug testing policy that has been very, very successful. A number of years ago, we participate in a Community That Cares survey, and we noticed an upward trend in marijuana use in our students. It wasn't to a point where it was becoming a problem, but we noticed a slow increase in the percentage of students that were trying marijuana, so that we wanted to get a head start on that prevention. So we implemented a random drug testing policy, which fell under my duties the last 2 years. And last year we had 0 positive marijuana tests come back, and it's something that we're definitely very proud of. We love the drug testing policy. It's put in place to assist students in one more way of saying no. It's very easy for students to say, "Oh, I don't want to do it because my mom will get me in trouble." But as you get older, peer pressure gets larger, and it gets harder to deal with. And sometimes saying, "My mom said I shouldn't do this," it doesn't give students enough strength to really stand up for themselves. And in implementing this drug testing program, we've enabled students to say, "I can't do it because I may get tested at my school," and it really provides students with something to lean on, and it's a great way for kids to step up and say, "No, I'm not going to do it."
What is the dress code policy for the school?
We have a dress code policy in which our students are required to wear uniforms. They can purchase those at Class Act, which is a business here in Topeka, and it consists of their khaki shorts, khaki pants, plaid skirt, plaid skirts, and then there are a couple different types of polos and Oxford shirts that they can wear, and then they are also allowed to wear spirit wear from our PACE organization that features our Hayden colors. And
what other things would you like the community to know about your school?
It is phenomenal school for no matter what you're looking for. We excel at everything that we do. We may not offer as much as some of the bigger schools because what we focus on is what we have, and we strive to be the best at what we have. And it is phenomenal. I've been here for 18 years, and our average experience of our teacher is right at 18 years. I feel like I'm getting to be a veteran here, but when I looked at that stat and saw that the average experience was 18 years, I realized I'm just right in the middle. But our teachers, our staff, our community make it a great place, and we're not exclusive. We are a Catholic school, but we have a number of our student body that is not Catholic, and they feel a part of our community. It is a phenomenal school for whatever you're looking for. I'm very proud that my son, who's a sophomore, is here. He is having a great time, and sometimes having your dad being a principal, it probably isn't the most ideal situation, but he hasn't complained one bit, and he hasn't been given a hard time at all. We strive to make relationships with our students, and as an administrator, I've worked with students, and I enjoy working with students. That was one of the hard things going from teaching into administration. I was afraid that I wouldn't have the one-on-one connection with students that I had as a teacher, and I've found a way to balance that, and I visit with students all the time, and our students are what makes Hayden great. One of my favorite stories to tell parents and to tell anyone that will listen, before I was dean of students, I was at a local tux rental company, and I was in my Hayden gear, and the person helping me said, "Oh, you're from Hayden," and I of course said, "Yes, I teach there." And she goes, "I can always tell when I'm working with a Hayden student, and it's not by the attire that they wear. They don't all come in wearing their Hayden attire, but I can tell by the way they behave that they're Hayden students." And that story and that moment really made me feel a sense of pride for what we're doing here, and I was very proud to be part of something that special.
Thank you so much for being on the radio show with me today. And again, this is James Sandstrom, and he's with Hayden High School. I'm Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. And just real quick, if they would like to get involved with the school, what number should they call?
Well, they are welcome to visit our website at haydenhigh.org, or you can call the school at 785-272-5210, and we would gladly help them find their way to our school.
Thank you so much, and you've been listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.